much, David. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. I would like to respectfully acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe under the terms of the Robinson-Huron Treaty, number 61 of 1850. Sorry. And the Williams Treaty of 1923. We commit to acknowledge, learn, educate, create opportunity, honor sacred places, and take actions towards real truth and reconciliation in support of our commitment to walking the path together in respect, peace, and harmony for future generations. Thank you.
I'd like to say a prayer in our language. Bojo, manakami dishnakas makotoren. Miigwach gajemnado gabajai non gun. Kenegego gazats to win. Miigwach shomas Jesus gabajai non gun. Miigwach nokwas Jesus gabajai non bekik. Miigwach shakni kwa gabajai bumazawan gabajai mijam gabajai waisayak gabajai nabish. Sama garabne giwed non wabianan jau non minwash perminyan. Naramo shin gamotstiayan minwa gamotstian. I'll give you a Reader's Digest version of that. When I translate it. God, you're a tough crowd. You know, humor is good medicine. You know, our people laughed a lot, joked a lot, because at the time, that's all we could do was laugh, because some of the injustices were happening. We had no control over it. The only thing we had control over is our spirits and our traditional ways of living and honoring the spirit of our ancestors. And that's what we're doing today. We're celebrating our spirits of our ancestors and those ones that they have found. But that prayer talks about the grandfather's son, the teacher to all the men here.
Suffer the little children to come unto me, and I will give them rest. I'm Mohawk from the Iroquois Haudenosaunee Nation. I would like to share a prayer, not in my Mohawk language, because that was taken away from me and I can't speak my language. So I will tell you the prayer and we'll speak it in English together. To be a human is an honor, and we offer thanksgiving for all the gifts of life. Mother Earth, we thank you for giving us everything we need. Thank you, deep blue waters around Mother Earth, for you are the force that takes thirst away from all living things. We give thanks to green grasses that feel so good against our bare feet, for the cool beauty you bring to Mother Earth's floor. Thank you, good berries from Mother Earth, our life sustainers, for making us happy when we are hungry. Fruits and berries, we thank you for your color and sweetness. We are thankful to good medicines for healing us when we are sick. Thank you, all the animals of the world, for keeping our precious forests clean. All of the trees of the world, we are thankful for the shade and warmth you give us. Thank you, all of the birds in the world, for singing your beautiful songs for us to enjoy. We give thanks to you, gentle four winds, for bringing clean air for us to breathe from the four directions. Thank you, Grandfather Thunder Beings, for bringing rains to help all living things grow. Elder Brother Sun, we send thanks for shining your light and warming Mother Earth. Thank you, Grandmother Moon, for growing full every month to light the darkness for children and sparkling waters. We give you thanks, twinkling stars, for making the night sky so beautiful and sprinkling morning dewdrops on the plants. Spirit protectors of our past and present, we thank you for showing us ways to live in peace and harmony with one another. And most of all, we thank you, Great Spirit, for giving us all of these wonderful gifts, so we will be happy and healthy every day and every night.
And I was always taught to introduce myself in the language, so Rodney Indigenous, Temiskaming Donchpa, Megazero Dem, Nishnabé and Dao, Ogamaganu Indigo. My government name is Rodney Stanger. I come from Timiskaming Reserve. I'm Ojibwe. I from the Eagle Clan, and my spirit name is Chief Golden Eagle. So the song we're gonna do today is a round dance. It's like Dave said, it's not just about tragedy and sorrow. It's about unity and coming together as a people, because underneath the sky, we're all one family. That's what I truly believe. And we have many different ways of expressing what we believe our creation system is. I believe it's the same person, but we just have many different ways of expressing that. So we'll be doing a round dance song. So if you guys can make a big circle, normally we hold hands, but since COVID's around, we won't do that. If you can kind of make a circle, and once we start the song, we're gonna start dancing sideways, and it's not an intimidating dance. All you do is shuffle to your side.
Welcome to Orange Shirt Day. Author Michelle Alexander said, "We can have no significant understanding of any culture unless we also know the silences that were institutionally created and guaranteed along with it. This passage can be applied to any group of people that have been discriminated against. My name is Nicole Herrick. My mother's name is Gertrude Gauthier. My father's name is Leo Lapa. I am just learning what it means to be a Métis woman. On August 9, 2021, through the registry process of the Métis Nation of Canada, the registrar reviewed my genealogic and legal documents which confirmed my Métis ancestry. I've always been drawn to Indigenous art, including books on the Indigenous way of life. I started reading biographies on famous warriors and other authors such as Michelle Good, Thomas King, and Jesse Went. The word Métis was often mentioned. Being French, I remember wondering if I had Indigenous blood. The definition of Métis is people of mixed European and Indigenous ancestry. I was unable to confirm how many Métis Canadians live in Canada for 2021. According to the 2016 census poll, there are approximately 600,000 self-identified Métis people living in Canada. The majority of the Métis population lives in the prairie provinces, with the highest Métis population being Alberta. Growing up, my mother never spoke of her Métis heritage. She was taught to believe that this would bring shame to our family. My Métis lineage goes back to the 1600s from my great-great-grandmother. She was American and a fur trader. She was definitely ahead of her time, as only men were fur traders. I know now where my sisters and I get our warrior-like personality. It has taken me decades to become a member of the Métis community. I have struggled with my entire life to find my identity as a Métis woman. It is my hope that this will empower my family to continue to honor our Métis heritage, that this legacy will not die with me.
Imagine walking home from school. You are 8 years old. A car stops, men get out, and you are taken. You never make it home that day, or any day. You are stripped naked, showered, deloused, hair cut short, given a uniform and a number. This number is now your name. Your identity gone, stolen, but you are just a child. You are told not to speak your language and severely punished if you do. From bleached rags put in your mouth to holding your tongue or being beaten, and those are just the mild punishments. You cry each night for your family, the love of your mother, the strong arms of your father. The memory of your family begins to fade with each year you are imprisoned. This is the truth of truth and reconciliation. I speak today on behalf of the children no longer invisible. I speak on behalf of the survivors and their families who continue to suffer. I speak on behalf of murdered and missing women and girls in Canada. I speak for all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. We have all experienced the traumatic residual effects of residential school. My grandfather attended the Mohawk Institute, a residential, not really school, institute in Brantford, Ontario. I visited and toured this building many, many times as part of a grade 12 university level course that I have taught. 95% of my students were not Indigenous, all overwhelmed and shocked, driven to tears and anger over not being taught this before in school. They're going home and sharing what they learned at their dinner table and being told by their parents, this is not true, this didn't happen in Canada. I heard that time and time again. Intelligent young voices heading out into the world, hearing the shocking stories and grappling with the same truth you now know. Young adults seeing firsthand the dormitories where children were made hidden passages in the walls to hide from predators. The boiler room where girls were taken and raped, a place where no one would hear their cries and screams for help. The crawl space, used as solitary confinement, where children were left for days just for speaking their language. Leading up to today, I have felt a great burden, much sorrow and sadness, because I am a mother, I am Indigenous, because we all have a burden to carry, a burden of responsibility. Change does not arise from passivity or inaction. True change is reconciliation, making an individual choice, a decision to act. I used to tell my university-bound students, walk up to the line. There's a line there, and walk your talk. Use your voice to make change and take action for the things that you believe in. For facts to become truth, we must believe it. For truth to become reconciliation, you must live it. We must stop saying it and start doing it. Forging a new direction, a nation-to-nation, sacred relationship based on mutual respect and mutual love and mutual responsibility. One that does not judge, punish, or oppress. One that dismantles embedded biases, stereotypes, and the sad word, racism. Our vocabulary must change, and our ways of thinking, our attitudes of privilege based upon the color of our skin, and the persona of perception based upon the color of our skin. This is Canada's first National Day of Remembrance. It cannot be a one-of-a-kind 90-foot call to action, check mark, done, let's move on. Today cannot simply be about wearing orange for one day. What we do beyond today and the actions that you take will truly demonstrate that every child matters. We can bring thousands of lost children home through our actions of acceptance, aligning as allies, and our attitude of change. I challenge each of you today to pledge to walk your talk, to participate in building bridges of healing and equality. I'm an idealist. And I really believe that anything can happen and anything is possible. That we live in a world where learning and education are the keys to moving forward. It is about the implementation of the 94 calls to action by the Canadian government, but it is also what I and you can do after today in our relationships, our families, our communities, and in our nations. We must look at the past to see where we were, to acknowledge it and to use it, to see what we must do differently. In Huntsville, my running partner and I, Robin Taylor, and I made a conscious decision to act, to do something. We began the Hope Arises project with the help of the town of Huntsville and our great mayor and two beautiful elder settlers who are Huntsville residents. We created a sacred space, a visual memorial that honors the children, their families, and survivors of the residential school system. Orange ribbons are added to the trees as children are found, and we are so thankful for the active support of the town and several businesses who are involved. We also have some schools in Muskoka taking part. Children lovingly remembering children, writing names on an orange ribbon and placing it on their property. A child who never came home. Nyawa, Nyawa Goa, Huntsville for this day. Nyawa, Nyawa Goa for this day, Canada. Nyawa, Nyawa Goa for believing the truth and acknowledging it. We and you, all of us, are living a pivotal moment in history, whether you believe it or not, we are. We are living history. As we reflect together today with genuine care and compassion, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Let us each be compelled to ask ourselves, what can I do? Nyawa.